Hey, everybody! How's everyone doing? Hey, don't do it. Welcome back to another edition of Where Does That Simulation Game Fall on Nick's Spectrum? The number one game show on TV that doesn't really have an end game or like a point. I haven't really thought it out that much, but we're gonna just try it out anyways. It's gonna be a good time. So DJ, play that theme music. Roll it.
Simulation, my simulation. Understanding my simulation. Narration from yours truly on the MC this occasion. Fill it out if you wanna come on this vacation. I put a simulation on a spectrum, yeah I made it. If there was a school for this, you know I graduated. OG gamer of the week, I'm liberated. Nixon's got the wild, he's the reason that I'm famous. I'm rising way up to the top. Tens upon tens and my viewers won't stop. Fans in the street acting me for a pig. They say I'm green, that's not true, call me Nick. Back to the topic on hand. All of these sim games, the palm of my hand. Which one goes where and where, which one I'll pick? Oops, please forgive me, my tongue slipped its lip.
The first game we're going to start out with is Football Manager. It's a timeless simulation game that's just always going to have an audience. And in the latest edition of the game, I actually found the customization to be pretty impressive. You can generate a 3D model using a photo for your manager's appearance. You can allocate points towards physical and mental attributes for your team, and a lot more to make you really feel like a Football Manager 2020. This game seems pretty focused on identity, which gives it good points on the customization side of the spectrum. But when you're looking at a Football Manager game, there's not a lot of personality there, which isn't a bad thing for that type of game at all, but for my graph it's going to have to fall on the more robotic side of things. I'm going to be putting both of these games up there on the graph individually, but I wanted to talk about them together because I feel like they have a good yin and yang. SimCity has an overall higher quality look since it's more focused on the buildings and the structures, while Sims is more focused on personality and the customization of the brain, maybe? So while both games are amazing when it comes to customization, I think SimCity does a better job in its subgenre, while Sims is doing a greater job in its personality, even if it's not that in-depth. And again, each of these games I'm talking about has their own subgenre and style, so even if a game falls more in the robotic or the linear side of things, that doesn't mean it's a bad game at all. SPORE is pretty crazy on the customizable spectrum. Everything in the game is pretty versatile and editable, and the whole game is about creating new creatures, buildings, machines, and anything else you can think of. In terms of personality, the game is definitely not robotic, but the lack of individual characters and dialogue doesn't really allow the game to be as personable than other games on this list. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to be talking about the newest game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. New Horizons has increased its customization immensely since the original Animal Crossing, but still isn't as customizable as other games on this list just because of its other defining quality, its personality. There are over 300 villagers that have their own look and kind of their own personality, but if I had to explain Animal Crossing in relation to our other games, I'd say it's like Sims if Sims had less customization but a lot more personality. In terms of customization, Farming Simulator isn't the worst. You can pick the map you start on, there's an alright character creator, but overall it's pretty limited. And the gameplay allows you to make a lot of choices, but in relation to the other games on our list, the gameplay is pretty linear. And personality-wise, the game is a lot of the same as well. Farming Simulator does exactly what its title says, and it might not be as versatile as other titles on this list, but that doesn't mean it's not a great simulation game. Oh, what is that? I think I'm hearing my new song alarm. You guys know what that means. Hit it, DJ.
I got 1, 2 straps on my overalls. I got my tractor in the field. I made some corn on my off time. It's not the only thing I yield. I got wheat, I got turnips, I got straw, I got feed for pigs, horses, cows, almost anything that peas. I'll farm you out of house and home and solve me one more time. My crop's always in season and hey, I'm not even trying. Oh, you're an investment banker? Man, those hours suck. Well, I'm out here for 18-hour days, so suck it up. You wish you had this harvester, I bought it on my own. My crop's my food machinery and boy, you're still alone, like yeah.
Stardew Valley is a similar game to Animal Crossing, but on this spectrum it's pretty different. Stardew Valley doesn't provide much in terms of customization, but each character has its own story, personality, and relationship to the main character. The game is all about personality, and it doesn't require a super high-def look to pull it off. Pretty much the same notes I had as Farming Simulator, but more robotic and linear. Goat Simulator provides a fun amount of personality, but in terms of customization, there really isn't any. I know there's different things the goat can wear, but it doesn't really put that above any other game on our list. This is probably the crown jewel of simulation games. Dream Daddy is a dad dating simulator. Dang it! This game has a whole lot of personality, from Matt, the hipster dad who runs a small cafe, all the way to Craig, the fitness nut who has a baby on strap at all times. Although the game isn't customizable by any means, the personality just seeps out of this game. Are Dream Daddy and Stardew Valley the same game?
We categorize the games that make us feel we're living a life that we're wishing was real. Farming some Dream Daddy, Animal Crossing. None of these games have your character flossing, and that's why these sim games mean so much to us. They give us the goods without a single fuss. It's about the downfalls and the cheap parts of life that give us depression, stress, anger, and strife. That's it, that's the motive, that's the end game we need. Invent a way to put me in a sim game machine. I live out my life building houses, relaxing, instead of just worrying about my taxes. Be a doctor without the risk of mistakes, or a daddy without the stress of my kids. Escape the haunting of the IRS on my virtual perfect simulation quest.
And thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Where Does That Simulation Game? Whatever, just... If you like it, please subscribe because I post a new video every single Monday. And if you are one of my 120 new subscribers that have joined us since the last video, it is tradition around here for me to announce the Gamer of the Week. And I'm happy to announce that this week's Gamer of the Week is Hugo Vega, the teacher dad and dream daddy. He loves discussing wine and cheese, kissing in art galleries, and the smell of books.
It's the outro part of the video. Subscribe to me if you're feeling alone. If you play the video next to you while you sleep, the warmth of your phone feels like we're cuddling. I talk about different topics like that game, Disney Skate, Jet Set Radio, that game 50 Cent made, music theory, toys of life, villagers in a fight, every Monday on your feed as long as you just hit subscribe.